Ladies, let me tell you something. When a man does you wrong, the most powerful thing you can ever do isn't to fight, cry, or prove a point. The real power move is to confuse him by being everything he never expected, a woman who reacts with grace, silence, and self-control. Men are used to women breaking down when they mess up. They expect tears, angry texts, endless explanations, and dramatic posts. That's what they're ready for. But what shakes a man to his core is a woman who does none of that. A woman who doesn't beg, doesn't chase, doesn't explode, she simply moves differently. When a man hurts you, your first instinct is to respond with emotion. You want him to understand how much pain he caused, how deeply he betrayed you. I get it. It's human. But the truth is, the moment you give him that reaction, you give him power. You show him he still controls your emotions. And when a man realizes he can still push your buttons, he knows he still has a hold on you. That's why the real move is not to react, but to respond. Reaction is instant, emotional, unfiltered. Response is intentional, powerful, and calm. Instead of arguing, you choose silence. Instead of writing a long text explaining how much you hurt, you let your absence speak louder. Instead of trying to prove your worth, you remember it. You carry yourself like a woman who refuses to be disrespected. And let me tell you something, men are not built to handle that kind of energy. A man can handle yelling. He can handle tears. He can handle drama, because that means you still care. But what truly breaks a man's confidence is a woman who removes herself from the chaos and carries on with dignity. That woman becomes a mystery. That woman becomes powerful. Imagine this, he texts you after hurting you, expecting the usual back and forth, and instead, you calmly say, "I appreciate the clarity you've given me. Take care." Then you move on, no chasing, no questions, no begging for closure. You let him sit with that silence. You let him wonder how you could walk away so easily. You let him overthink while you focus on yourself. Because here's the truth, men don't learn from explanations, they learn from experience. You don't need to tell him what he did wrong 100 times. You don't need to show him your worth by proving anything. The moment he realizes you're not reacting, not playing his game, but elevating instead of engaging, that's when it hits him. That's when he starts thinking, did I just lose something great? The moment he expects you to crumble after he hurts you, he's already convinced that you needed him more than he needed you. He assumes his absence will break you, that you'll sit around waiting. But what he doesn't expect is for you to rise higher, to become an even better version of yourself without him. That's why the best thing you can do is focus on your glow up. Don't get trapped in the pain he caused. Men operate on ego, they believe they are the center of your world. When they walk away, they expect proof that their absence left a hole in your life. That's why they check your social media, ask mutual friends, or suddenly send a "just checking in" a text. They're looking for signs that you miss them. But when a man sees you thriving instead of suffering, that confuses him more than anything else. You don't waste your time trying to make a man regret losing you. You just make sure that when he looks your way again, he sees a woman who has leveled up. You work on yourself. You hit the gym, not for revenge, but because you love yourself enough to take care of your body. You chase your dreams, not to make him jealous, but because your future deserves that energy. You refine your style, your confidence, and surround yourself with people who make you feel valuable. Because when you invest in yourself, when you pour into your own growth, you become the kind of woman who commands respect without saying a single word. And that's when the tables turn. Suddenly, he starts remembering why he was drawn to you in the first place. He starts realizing he took something rare for granted. It's not just your physical transformation, it's your energy. A woman who knows her worth moves differently. She speaks differently. She doesn't beg for love, she attracts it effortlessly. And when he sees that you've detached completely from the idea that he was ever necessary for your happiness, he won't know what to do with himself. This is why your glow up is so powerful. It's not about him, it's about you. It's about choosing to rise instead of sink into pain. It's about proving to yourself, not to him, that you are enough on your own. Because there's nothing more magnetic than a woman who is unbothered, unapologetic, and unstoppable in her pursuit of a better life. And when a man realizes that he was never the source of your happiness in the first place, that's when he truly understands what he lost. Men expect drama. They expect anger. They expect a reaction that reassures them they still hold power over your emotions. That's why, when a man does you wrong, the most powerful move you can make is to choose peace. Not out of weakness. Not because you're avoiding confrontation. But because peace is the one thing he isn't prepared to face. When you stay calm in the face of disrespect, when you refuse to let chaos pull you in, it does something to a man's mind. It forces him to face himself. Men don't reflect while you're yelling at them. They don't realize their mistakes while you're writing long messages explaining your pain. But when you step back, when you detach, when you stop engaging, your silence forces him to sit with the weight of his own actions. A man will always remember the woman who walked away with dignity. Not the one who begged, not the one who argued, but the one who simply removed herself and let her absence speak for itself. Because peace is unsettling to a man who thrives on control. When he can no longer pull you into his chaos, when he sees you're not chasing him for closure, he begins to lose his sense of power. Nothing confuses a man more than realizing he no longer has access to your emotions. When you choose peace, you shift the dynamic. Instead of reacting, you become intentional. Instead of proving your worth to him, you remember your worth for yourself. And when you do that, something powerful happens, you free yourself. You stop carrying the burden of trying to change a man who doesn't want to change. You stop wasting energy on someone who took you for granted. You redirect that energy into yourself, into your healing, your happiness, your future. And when a man sees that you've found peace without him, it makes him question everything. He wonders why you're not angry, why you're not fighting, why you're not chasing. That's when it hits him, you've moved on. And that's when the balance shifts. The moment he feels your absence not as punishment but as peace, he starts to see himself more clearly. Silence becomes his mirror. While he is scrolling through memories, replaying your laughter, and wondering why you are no longer reachable, you are out there rediscovering who you are without the weight of his approval. That is real power, not control over him, but control over your own emotions. Because, ladies, when you stop chasing closure from someone who shattered your peace, you start finding closure within yourself. You begin to realize that love doesn't hurt when it's real. Real love does not make you question your worth, it protects it. And sometimes the reason you had to lose him was so you could finally find you. The version of you that had been buried under compromise, under fear of being too much or not enough. The version of you that laughs loudly again, dreams bigger again, and walks taller again. That woman was waiting for you all along. Understand something, heartbreak isn't the end. It's a rebirth. The pain that once felt unbearable is actually the fire that forges you into something unshakable. You won't realize it right away, but one day you'll look back and see that his rejection was your redirection. His absence created space for your evolution. What felt like destruction was actually transformation in disguise. So when you're tempted to go back, when your heart aches to text him or check his profile, pause and breathe. Remember the nights you cried yourself to sleep. Remember how small you felt trying to earn the bare minimum. And then remember how it feels now, the peace, the quiet, the self-respect. You built that peace with your own hands, and no one is allowed to take it from you again. Let him wonder. Let him scroll through your posts and feel that emptiness. Let him hear your name and flinch a little. But don't do any of this for revenge. Revenge still ties you to his story. You're writing a new one. This time, you are both the author and the main character. Your plot no longer revolves around who stayed or who left. It's about how brightly you shine when you choose yourself. Every time you wake up and decide not to text him, you reclaim your power. Every time you choose silence over argument, you protect your peace. Every time you smile without needing a reason, you remind the universe that you are healing. That is what makes you unstoppable. Because one day, he will reach out again, they always do. Maybe with a, "Hey, how have you been?" or, "I was just thinking about you." He'll test the waters to see if the door is still open. But by then, you won't even feel anger or longing. You'll feel nothing but calm. You'll smile politely, wish him well, and keep walking. Because when you truly heal, indifference becomes your greatest revenge. Healing doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means accepting that it happened and deciding it won't define you. It means learning the lesson without carrying the pain. It means saying, "Thank you for teaching me what love is not." You outgrow the version of yourself that needed his validation. You start validating yourself through your own accomplishments, your own joy, your own reflection in the mirror. And, ladies, that's when your energy shifts. You start attracting people who match your new frequency. Friends who genuinely care, opportunities that align with your purpose, love that feels easy instead of exhausting. You'll meet someone who doesn't make you beg for attention, someone who doesn't confuse you, someone who sees your worth right away. And you'll realize that everything you lost wasn't a loss, it was a lesson preparing you for something better. The truth is, sometimes God or the universe removes people from your life not to hurt you, but to protect you. That heartbreak you thought would destroy you was actually saving you from smaller dreams. You were never meant to stay in a place where you were only half loved. You were meant to bloom fully. And now, you're doing exactly that. So walk with your head high. You're not broken, you're becoming. You're not bitter, you're blooming. Every scar is proof that you survived, that you felt deeply, that you kept going even when it hurt. Don't hide those scars, wear them like medals. Because they tell the world you refuse to give up on yourself. If he ever crosses your mind again, smile and silently thank him. Because without that pain, you wouldn't have found this power. Without that betrayal, you wouldn't have learned boundaries. Without that ending, you wouldn't have discovered your beginning. You are not who you were before all of this, you are wiser, softer, stronger, and infinitely more aware of your worth. So let him sit in confusion while you move in peace. Let him wonder how you managed to rebuild yourself from the ground up. Let him watch you glow from afar, realizing that he once had access to the very light he now can't reach. And when that realization hits him, don't look back. Keep walking, keep rising, keep glowing. Because, ladies, the world is watching you evolve. Somewhere, another woman is finding courage in your story. She's watching how you carried your pain with grace and thinking, if she can do it, so can I. That's your legacy. You didn't just survive, you inspired. You turned heartbreak into wisdom and pain into purpose. You became the kind of woman who reminds others that strength can be quiet, and power can be peaceful. And if you ever doubt yourself again, just remember this moment, the one where you chose dignity over drama, healing over hatred, peace over proving a point. Remember how far you've come. Remember that the real glow-up isn't in the makeup, the outfit, or the followers, it's in the peace that radiates from a healed heart. So, my beautiful ladies, hold your crown high. Don't dim your light to make anyone comfortable. Don't shrink yourself to fit into spaces that don't honor you. The right people will see your worth without you having to convince them. The wrong ones will fall away naturally, and that's okay. That's how you make room for something greater. You are not defined by who walked away, you are defined by how you rose after they did. You are not what you lost, you are everything you became in the process of finding yourself. Keep walking in grace, keep leading with love, and keep reminding the world that a woman who chooses peace over pain is a woman who can never be broken again.